Unusual Incidents Unit, File 1941-016, Chicago Revenant. Electronic copy below as per Federal Records Act. Initial report. Summary: a series of murders, currently numbering 6, of victims associated with the anomalous criminal organization, Chicago Spirit. Each death was reported to the Federal Bureau of Investigations via an anonymous tip by an individual identifying as Mr. Knight. These tips were investigated by the Unusual Incidents Unit as a result of their usage of certain phrases. Evidence suggests that all murders were committed by this same, currently unidentified individual. The current relation of this individual to the Chicago Spirit is unknown, but they are believed to have been a member in some capacity. Suspect. Name: Mr. Knight. Irregularity cross-reference: human, gangster, Chicago Spirit, fugitive. Physical description: sex, male, height, unknown, weight and build, unknown, slender, race, Polish, hair, black, eyes, unknown. Identifying features: frequently described as disheveled or unwashed. Note: identification of Mr. Knight as Polish comes from a remark assigning him a Polish accent. Capabilities: suspect possesses numerous unidentified anomalous abilities. As the suspect has never been directly observed, and only the aftermath of actions, exact description of its capabilities is not possible. The suspect has been responsible for the anomalous murder of 5 victims, in addition to the non-anomalous murder of 1 more victim. The nature of these murders has varied between each victim, with each being obviously anomalous. A full record of the nature of these methods may be found under the evidence associated with the case file. Purpose and motive: based on the limited evidence available to the Unusual Incidents Unit, it appears that the suspect is attempting to obscure all information concerning the Chicago Spirit. It appears that the suspect is prioritizing individuals who are closely involved with the anomalous aspects of the crime syndicate. Modus operandi: the suspect is completing its agenda by eliminating all remaining individuals with a connection to the Chicago Spirit and murdering them in varying ways. After finishing each murder, the suspect has evidently delivered an anonymous tip to the local FBI department, reporting the most recent murder. The suspect has evidently warned 1 victim prior to murdering them. It is unknown if any of the others were given an advance indication. Behavior: suspect has not been directly observed while eliminating former members of the Chicago Spirit, and has apparently taken care to prevent any trace of his involvement with the deaths. The suspect has varied the nature of all anomalous murders committed for a currently unknown reason. The suspect appears to be unafraid of being captured by the Unusual Incidents Unit, indicated by its self-reporting of the murders. Evidence. Evidence A: Riley O'Callahan. On October 12, 1941, Riley O'Callahan was discovered dismembered in his personal residence in Chicago. Each of the victim's bones had been removed and neatly arranged next to the rest of his body. Riley O'Callahan had previously worked as the manager of the largest speakeasy controlled by the Chicago Spirit. Evidence suggests that Riley O'Callahan had been highly involved with the upper management of the Chicago Spirit. Evidence B: Julius Sawteeth McGallen. On October 31st, 1941, Julius McGallen was discovered in a state of advanced mummification. Forensic evidence suggested that the victim had been deceased for an extended period of time, likely 10 years or more. However, the victim had been seen entering his residence 2 hours earlier. The only unidentified individual in the area was a dirty Pole, probably a drunkard, seen in the area approximately 6 hours before the murder by a neighbor of Julius McGowan. Julius McGowan had been a member of the primary leadership of the Chicago Spirit, having joined the outfit in 1899 after being discovered by the founder, Richard Chappell. Julius McGowan had avoided being apprehended by the UIU following the dissolution of the group, as had all leaders. For more information, see the UIU file on the Chicago Spirit. Evidence C. Al Seward. On November 20th, 1941, Al Seward was discovered in a hotel having all bodily organs anomalously inverted. Crime scene analysis suggests that Al Seward may have remained alive in this state for as long as 20 minutes following this event. Al Seward had been employed as a bodyguard of Richard Chappell, the leader of the Chicago Spirit. Mr. Seward was also suspected of having orchestrated several assassinations on the behalf of Mr. Chappell. Evidence D. Vasily Sokolov. On December 24th, 1941, Vasily Sokolov entered Trinity Hospital, Aramaic, Florida. At the time, Vasily displayed symptoms of hypothermia, despite outside temperatures measuring approximately 65 degrees Fahrenheit. Hospital staff were unprepared to treat hypothermia, and Vasily died later that day. Vasily Sokolov had previously acted as an intermediate between the Chicago Spirit and the Russian Mafia. Evidence E. Jack Pilston. On January 8, 1942, the body of Jack Pilston was discovered in his personal residence. Cause of death was anomalous, having been shot once between the eyes. Jack Pilston had worked as an accountant within the Chicago Spirit prior to its dissolution in 1938. One unidentified individual was recorded as having entered the apartment building in which Jack Pilston lived and exiting 5 minutes later. The suspect was described as acting oddly, which led the doorman to believe they were a drug addict. Jack, I just want you to know that you were always one of my favorites from those days back in the Spirit. Did what you were told, didn't ask too many questions. Exactly what I look for in my subordinates. Almost makes me wish I could give you a second chance. But I've set my mind. I'm just doing some cleaning with regard to the Spirit. You're smart enough to get what I mean by that. I thought I'd give you some time to get your things in order before the end. I liked you, kid. Not enough for me to leave you off the list, but enough for a little kindness before the end. I'll be around in 2 days, so do whatever you gotta do before then. For you, I promise, it will be quick. Mr. Knight. Evidence G. Anthony Dorfman. On February 14th, 1942, Anthony Dorfman, a high-ranking Chicago Spirit bootlegger, disappeared from UIU custody. An unidentified dead body was discovered within his holding cell. No cause of death could be determined for the body. No individuals were observed leaving or entering the holding cell prior to the disappearance of Anthony Dorfman, although one guard reported seeing somebody who looked like he should have been under our jurisdiction outside the building 10 minutes earlier. Bureau Record. Current status: the identity of Mr. Knight is currently under active investigation, including his civilian identity and any connection he possesses to the Chicago Spirit. Crimes: 6 counts of murder in the first degree. Sentencing: death penalty, if found and apprehended. History of UIU action: October 17th, 1941, the FBI receives the following tip, informing them of the current location of Riley O'Callahan, leading to the UIU to the discovery of the body of Riley O'Callahan, documented under Evidence A. 1080 Street, Chicago, Apartment 2B. There might be something there you'll find interesting. Where's your Chicago spirit, Mr. Knight? October 31st, 1941. The FBI receives another anonymous tip leading to the UIU to discover the body of Julius McGowan, documented under Evidence B. 922 Drive, Chicago. Check out the basement. Sawteeth was a good partner, but his time came up. Surprised he managed to remain free for so long. But the past catches back up all of us. Mr. Knight. November 1st, 1941, the FBI opens a file concerning Mr. Knight and their possible involvement with the murders occurring. November 20th, 1941. Another tip is received, leading to the discovery of the body of Hal Seward. Redacted Hotel, Room 317. My brother told me this was a mistake, but there are just some things you have to do, Mr. Knight. 12/24/1941. A fourth anonymous tip is received. UIU agents travel to Trinity Hospital and discover Vasily Sokolov shortly before he dies. Sokolov is unable to communicate with the agents or explain his hypothermia. Evidence D. Trinity Hospital, near Florida. I remember how that Russian bastard used to boast that he was never bothered by the Chicago winters. I always hated how smug he was about it. Mr. Knight. January 8th, 1942. A fifth anonymous tip is received, leading to the discovery of Jack Pilston, Evidence E, as well as a letter signed by Mr. Knight, Evidence F. 02, redacted location, Illinois. I was sorry about this one. Jack was a good kid, but he knew too much. Shame, really. January 28th, 1942. 4 remaining Chicago Spirit members voluntarily turned themselves over into UIU custody, citing rumors concerning the previous murders committed. These individuals enter a plea deal, agreeing to cooperate with the UIU in exchange for protection. February 14th, 1942. Anthony Dorfman, one of the 4 Chicago Spirit members who entered UIU custody on January 28th, 1942, disappears from UIU custody and is replaced by a dead body. Evidence G. A tip is received from Mr. Knight, which is included below. You should already know something happened to Dorfman. The UIU isn't that useless, after all. Sorry for the mess this is causing you folks, but I've got to wrap up some loose ends. If you're still going to try and find me, well, good luck with that. Chappelle tried his best and never did. Mr. Knight.